Welcome everybody to Community Leaders live demonstration. So excited to have you here today. My name is Matthew Daniel. I'm Community Leaders Sales Manager and the point person of contact for qualified business, organizations, and individuals that are looking to run their own equity or debt-based crowdfunding portal platform. I'm so happy to be accompanied by two of Community Leaders team members, one being the one and only Joseph Berzanzi, Community Leaders CEO. We also have Sarah Kruger, Community Leaders Community Liaison, accompanying us. First off, I would like to ask Joseph a question, which would be, Joseph, how was Community Leader founded?
Well, you know what? Community Leader is a project of a bunch of senior executives who have been working with me over the last decade and a half in a variety of business development projects, technology companies, alternative investments, and private securities. And as we saw the restriction on capital for small businesses and the emergence of technology providing new ways to access capital and the potential of the deregulation of the SEC, we knew that there was a unique opportunity to really connect capital, new sources of capital, existing sources of capital with the Main Street businesses in America and around the world that were creating jobs and fulfilling dreams and lifting up communities. So we were really excited to be able to take a leadership position, and the portion of that huge crowdfunding market that we chose to take was to build a platform product.
Yeah, you're definitely right about that, Joseph. We're definitely all very excited about that. One other question I had for you, everyone here at Community Leader knows how passionate you speak about this new emerging market. Can you tell our listeners here today what drives your desire to support true crowdfunding?
Well, I don't know what true crowdfunding is or isn't, but I do know that there are thousands of small business owners, thousands of entrepreneurs with great ideas, great businesses that add tremendous value to their communities, are meeting unique niches in fulfilling needs in markets, are hiring people in good living wage jobs who are able to take care of their families. And one thing that all of those business owners and entrepreneurs share in common is a struggle and a challenge with accessing the capital that they need at the various different stages of development of their business. And I would like the opportunity to connect them, to support them, to find that capital that they need, not from folks who take over their business, not from folks who put them and their business at a risk, but from the people that know them, support them, and believe in them. And that's a community-based approach to crowdfunding. It's a community-based approach to making investments and growing one's business. And our goal is to create a compliant environment in which that can happen.
Thank you for sharing that with all of us here today, Joseph. During today's demonstration, we'll be exploring the user experience first through a portal marketing website. The website is a front-end marketing website which is built around your unique brand and business requirements. This online gateway is to your products and services that allows you to attract, educate, and register investors and issuers through your entire crowdfunding process. We will also be going through our investor application, which is a white label application for registering and tracking your portal's investors. It includes investor verification against fraudulent registration, a financial qualification process for accredited, unaccredited U.S. overseas investors, which governs the type of investors they may consider by securities laws. And we will also be taking a look at our back end, which we call Alpacista, which is the portal platform. This robust investor and issuer relationship management engine behind Community Leaders' comprehensive funding solution. It provides portal operators with the foundation to execute a fully compliant online fundraising campaign in today's regulatory environment, built with the flexibility to handle campaigns. So I wanted to go ahead and switch the screen over to Joseph, where he will be able to demonstrate all of these products and softwares that we just went over, and give you the experience from a portal operator's or an investor experience. So why don't you go ahead and take it away, Joseph? I'll switch that over to you.
Great. So as you guys are switching that screen over to me, let me say what I'd like to, what we're focusing on today, what we're calling the investor experience. And next week we'll go through the issuer experience, and then the following week we'll go through the portal operator experience, and we'll mix the portal operator and the intermediary together. So all of these are simply different views on the complete ecosystem of our product, and I hope that it gives a good comprehensive view. I'd like to encourage you to ask questions all the way through, and let's not just wait till the end. Matt and Sarah can interrupt me at any time and ask me your questions. You can hit the GoToMeeting over there on the right-hand side and raise your hand, or hit an instant chat question to them. I'd like to keep you directly involved in this as much as I possibly can. So as Matthew talked about, the first kind of step is that there's these upfront portals, that there's these different marketing sites, each with a different brand identity, talking about different things. And these are completely marketing sites. They're talking about, and they're your brand and your identity, and investors will be able to log in from your site and from your brand, from your URL. These are some examples. Funded Nation, one of our portals, they're focusing on private investments into public entities, which are called PIPEs. This is Next Gen Capital Markets, fantastic growth certification for companies, really leveraging an incredible grow matrix scoring methodology built on our platform, as well as an incredible due diligence, rigorous process for investors called Linked Investors. And then a simple, clean site like Vroom Bank. Vroom Bank is providing a fixed interest note for investors in used car dealers. And they do the due diligence and the review. There's technically only one offering on this page, but different opportunities for investors. And I'm showing you each of those because they show the breadth and scope of what can be done. All of these were designed by our teams and launched with our team, so we can also integrate into your back end, or integrate our back end into your look and feel in your own front end as well. All we need to have is that opportunity to do the registration button and a login button to bring somebody in to the application environment. So the first step is the solicitation of an offering. And to kind of talk about the solicitation a little bit, I'm going to refer to our own offering. As many of you know, we're doing an offering for Community Leader as a demonstration of the platform. So this is a teaser ad that you might have seen on crowdsourcing.org or received in a direct email letter from us. It's an example of a compliant 506C solicitation. Here it is embedded in a letter, a general solicitation letter that I sent out to people that, my 3,000 closest friends and family members, inviting them to consider an investment in Community Leader. And here's an example of a tweet. Because I'm such a twit, I use Twitter. I posted back here a little bit ago, did you know you could invest in Community Leader? I mean, think about this, guys. It's amazing that we can do this today, really a byproduct of the JOBS Act. And if you were to click this link on that tweet that I posted, it's going to take you to what we call a 509 disclaimer page, the rest of the advertising. So these are teasers. They're just a little teaser. This is just a little Twitter teaser. And it takes you to the rest of the advertisement, which is branded with the registering broker-dealer at C-Trade Exchange. That's the registered broker-dealer for the Community Leader raise. It's our house broker-dealer, our preferred broker-dealer. It has all of the disclaimer information of this not being a direct offer to purchase a security, that it's a private company, it's a liquid, and that there's a whole bunch of background information that you're going to need to know, that there's a qualification and accreditation, and what those accreditation rules are. And now the investor looks at that and goes, oh, yeah, this is what I want to do, and they're going to click here, and they're going to go to log in to become an investor. So whether this login is from solicitation and from a 509 disclaimer page, or the login comes right off of the website that you've created, this is the first step towards registering to become an investor and consider qualified offerings inside the Community Leader platform environment. Community Investor can be your brand. The colors here can be changed to be your colors. We've created this with UI experts, and we've created it to be mobile-centric so that it works on a phone, it works on a tablet, it works as part of an application that can be downloaded from iTunes or Google Play, but it starts the investor process. If I were to start here at login.communityleader, I would start the process of registering for Community Leader Raise. And as much as that would be fun, and I'd love to encourage you all to do that, that isn't going to provide us the ability to show you a complete back end without sharing confidential information. So what I'm going to do instead is go to a sandbox, a demo account that we have at sandbox.communityleader.com. So same thing you can see, but this can change out and be all of yours. But now we're going to register me as a new investor at the sandbox and see what the experience of an investor is. So these are all the preliminary fields that we need to set up a potential investor. So this is me. I'm Joseph Berzanzi. I'm going to do just a little bit of a change of my email address so that it is experienced on our system as a unique email, since I've already logged in once or twice to our system. So I've created my username, my password. I've provided an email address telling me that this username is available. Woohoo! That's good. Now the hardest part is I have to get tic-tac-toe. And if I was playing with my daughter, this would be about the time that I'd lose. And now I can create my account. What it's going to do here is it's going to create a unique account associated with this portal. It's going to confirm that I don't have an existing account on one of the other portals that we're supporting. It's part of our source control. It's also part of our management of the open and closed portal environments where open portals can share back and forth. We've sent that email of confirmation to me. Let's go see what that is right here. And I'm going to hide that Matthew just told me that there was a question. And I'll see here that I've got this email confirmation. You see it says it came from Sandbox. That's going to say it came from your portal. And it's going to say what the email address, it's going to come from your email address. And whatever terminology you want here to welcome a new registered person to confirm their email address, you'll be able to tell them whatever you want to welcome them in to do the next step of setting up their account, which will be creating a password. So Matthew, you had a question.
Yeah, we did have a question from one of our guests today, which is has multiple answers to it, but does a site need a broker-dealer to do equity transactions?
A site needs a licensed registered broker-dealer if anybody is intending in any way, shape, or form to receive transactional-based compensation. So charging any shape, way, or form transactional revenue. That means a success fee or a fee that is charged only contingent upon the success of a raise, whether it is a percentage or a flat fee, but it's collected based on success of a raise. If there's going to be that type of activity, you're going to need a broker-dealer. And there are other situations in which you will be legally advised, and your legal team will advise you to have a broker-dealer as well. And part of our service packages that we provide, it's not just the software and the service, it's also a full integration. We can provide you access to the legal counsel to look at your unique model and decide from a business perspective whether it's in your interest to have a broker-dealer involved or not. So the next thing that I need to do is create a password so that I can be in the system. And it looks like while we're doing that, Matthew, do you have another question, or Sarah?
Well, I'm not quite sure of this question. They're asking, do you provide demo systems? I'm assuming that would be demo of our entire product for your view.
So what we're currently doing is providing our live demos off of a sandbox account. These are $40,000 plus systems that are configured to unique business requirements. So there is not a freemium or freeware version of it. For certain clients, as part of the sales process as we're developing, we will be able to provide you access to this account, this sandbox account that we're talking through right now. But there is not a generally available free version of the software. So one of the most important parts of the securities-based crowdfunding space is the qualification of an investor. And we have a variety of steps and tools built into our system to verify the identity and to qualify the investor. And all of these are set up as different modules so that your portal can choose based on your own processes when and how you want to do these. This portal is set up that after there is a username and password created, we're going to do a basic identity verification for a U.S. resident. If the person is not a resident of the United States, they will be able to click here and bypass this step, and we can manually approve them on the back end. I'll show you how to do that. But for an existing U.S. citizen, we are doing identity verification. We found this is a very, very important part of creating a compliant securities environment. And we're using a basic verification process for that. This is all my basic information. You can now track me down and find me. It wants me to fix something. Oh, I didn't tell what state I live in. I live in Minnesota, everybody, which is a beautiful, warm, balmy state. And we tell everybody it's frigid and cold so that we can keep you out and protect it for ourselves. Just kidding. So that's going to be the first of 2 steps to verify my identity. The second is that I'm using a Social Security number, but just the final 4 of the Social Security. We don't keep that. We don't record it. We don't save it. In fact, I'll show you that on the back end. It is now verifying my identity, and guess what? It said that I am who I said I am. So before we launch into the investor accreditation step here, I'm going to actually show you what that looks like on the back end. So on the back end, there are 2 applications. One is the Portal Operators platform, which is where campaign managers, non-registered, non-licensed folks interact with and run and operate the different aspects of their campaign. So this would be on your URL, not our URL. It would have your branding, and it would be where your folks were able to log in to the back end. And in that back end, if you're allowed in, I've been working on this all day, so it's having problems tracking my cookies. you will have the ability to view and manage all aspects of your environment. So one of those is, of course, the investors. And you can see, right here, one of the new investors that just signed up was me today at 13/15/22. Of course, you can see that I also signed up at 12/20/59. But this is the person that we're talking about right now. And you can see there's the email that I signed up on. The password's hid. I signed up as an investor, and I've made it through stage 3 of the registration process. You can see all the different stages that happened here. And if I needed to manually on the back end approve somebody who didn't qualify on the identity, but I knew who they were, or whatnot, I'd have the ability to override that here. You can see it says for the ideology, identity verification, I passed on the first attempt. You'll also see here that it has a list of all the different offerings that are on my platform, my preferences for the profile, or the preferencing for the control panel. We'll talk about that more later in the settings. But let's go back to that investor experience. Now they need to accredit themselves. And they need to, this is the rep and warrant accreditation. So this is for a traditional Reg D offering where they're going to need to say how they're going to need to represent and warrant to the site that they are an accredited investor. Now, we don't lead them on and tell them that they have to do it this way or that way. We just make them statements of fact so that they can say what they are. And for the purpose of this, I'm going to, since I know it's really disappointing to everybody, but I don't have a net worth that exceeds $1 million at the moment, and I don't have the joint income, but I am an authorized representative of a qualified institutional buyer, so I will save and continue with that as my investor accreditation. We can have different models, different processes for your system based on that, and my internet just hiccuped. So Matthew, while my internet comes right back, it's saying I'm getting an error message from the GoToMeeting as well. Can you please ask me a question while we see what I can do here?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. One question is from a gentleman. They want to do real estate crowdfunding. The company they have would collect transaction fees from the purchase and management of the real estate. They're inquiring, would they still need a broker-dealer in that case?
The ongoing management fees after a raise are not considered to be transactional-based revenue in most situations, so that would not need a broker-dealer's involvement. And we would build out their platform so that their team had access to both the portal operator and the intermediary interfaces. So here's, because I said I was an institutional or authorized representative, it's asking me for that application and to email that application in. I'm going to skip over that step right now because I know that I could do it. And I'm going to approve and accept the terms of the site. We have default legal terms already created for all of this for your portal, and you can use ours or have your own lawyers go through them and revise them and edit them for your own use. But now the investor is in the system and can see all of the offerings. So once again, each of those steps were modular, and you could push them in different directions. You could provide access to these tombstones directly live off of your website, but the second they wanted to click on them to see more, that's when they would need to go through the registration process. It's really up to you, but the point is that all of the steps are there. They're all required for different types of raises, and they can all be configured according to a workflow to match what you're looking for. Sarah, you had a question?
You kind of went over it there. You summed it up. But it was, is the registration process one defined by the SEC?
So there are rules defined by the SEC, and then there are rules defined by the participating broker-dealer and by FINRA. We know what those are, and that we can put together these different pieces to match the type of security that you're selling, the exemptions that you're using. If you're doing a 504 raise, doing a direct public offering or an intrastate offering, or you're following Georgia's crowdfunding exemption, there's going to be different rules and different requirements for each of those. And we have the ability to have the registration process match. What I'm showing and demonstrating here is a traditional 506C, which is a Title II compliant Reg D offering. And the steps that I just went through are ones that we've put together to best support the legal requirements of our preferred broker-dealer, or C-Trade, and we have found that our portals that are using other broker-dealers are following a pretty similar process and forms as well.
There's a few other questions that are more general, and then there's one that's actually about the accreditation of investors. Do you want to go over what we use to complete the process of accrediting an investor? What methods, income, or assets are used to verify?
So we're following the law. So for accredited investors, they need to rep and warrant. In a 506C raise, accredited investors need to rep and warrant, but then prior to receiving the subscription documents, there'll be a to-do list item here that says that they'll need to verify their identity. And we provide them the ability to download the forms and upload the required demonstration information. So that can be different for different portals and for different participating broker-dealers based on the requirements that you've set. The default is that they can upload their tax information, which would be good for a year, or they can upload a letter from a registered representative, a CPA, a RIA, or an attorney, which would be good for a quarter, for 3 months, and then the broker-dealer and the intermediary can verify that information on the back end. Our default business model is focused on making that free, always free for the investor, to reduce and eliminate as many barriers to participating as the investor as possible. For institutional or representative investors, there's this institutional investor qualification form and the associated task that was created. You'll see this person is currently listed as unverified. If we were to log into the back end of this system where the intermediary would interface, we would be able to look up that investor, and we would be able to track, confirm, make phone calls, do what was necessary to verify that investor. You could change it here on the back end, their verification status, and then it would show up as verified here on the front end, and they would then be eligible to download the subdocs and make a commitment. Did you want to? So this is the investor experience. This is the UI, which is the default UI. It is all live data feeds from the back-end systems. This is one of those back-end systems. The portal operator interface that we looked at is another one of those back-end systems. This live data can be reconfigured and reorganized in a way that makes sense for you and that works for your operating environment, your brand, and your identity as a portal. So the goal here is for that the investors can look at the opportunities that they're qualified to invest in, and that then they can pick and choose which ones they would like to see more information about, and they can view that information. And they can then track, request the PPM, or purchase the investment as well. You'll notice here that on this offering page, we have a list of them, and up in the corner it has a 75% match, 75% match, 50% match. That's because these had to be sorted in some way, shape, or form. They were filtered based on what this person was qualified to see, but they had to be sorted in some way that wasn't subjective and wasn't based on suitability determination. So we use a basic default preference model. where the investor can choose what preferences they would like to use to see investments. So if it's important for them that the business stage be a growth company or a late stage company, and that's really important, as they change these different things, it will change the order of the investments on the front end. So for example, I currently, when I logged in, it was the default preference as associated by the portal for an equity investment. If I change this to a debt-based instrument, and that is really important to me, in fact, it's mandatory, the offers on the front end will change. And guess what? Now there's only 2 offers showed up because I said that it was mandatory that it was a it was important that it was a late stage, and mandatory that it was a debt-based, and that these are the offerings that fit that criteria. You'll notice on the Sandbox, they have the ability to set the preferences here as well for the portal. So this was the determination of the profile criteria for the portal as a whole. Also see that they have access to these investors. Let's look at ABCD Holdings, above and beyond the Call of Duty data, demo data here. This is the back-end access of the portal operator. They can add video, add FAQ, add events. They can upload a document. They can delete a document that are out of date. They can add a promotional piece. You know, we can quickly add that data, that document back in. You can see how easy that is. You can add a promotion that you would like to encourage people to invest for XYZ reason. All of this is data that is being pulled from this is data that's being pulled from the due diligence back end and is showing up here. All of the green pluses are what the portal operator on the front end can change. This is where they can communicate in private messages with investors. So if I'm looking at this investment, I'm like, oh, I'd really like to talk with the owner about this. Talk to me about where you get your dolphin fish. This will be direct communication with the servicing broker who can triage that appropriately. And then the investor chat window is for general conversation that's publicly available with all of the investors. I eat here. It is great. It is now available for everybody else to see. There's no anonymous conversations. We know who said what, where, and when. We can delete these if for some reason they need to be moderated as well. So this is then the investor is going through these and finding which one's the right one for them. And once they do, once they find one, let's change this back over so that I can find more investment opportunities that make sense for me. This is going to be a relatively low priority. Now I can go to the offerings and they go, oh, look, a whole bunch more offerings have now shown up for me to be able to invest in. Oh, there's that ABCD. You know, I think that I know these guys. You get my taxes from them. I'd like to track this investment. And once I track that investment, it creates on the back end for the intermediary and the portal operator a unique engagement. And from that engagement, you can start marketing and communicating directly with your prospective investors. You can send them marketing material, you can send them direct material, you can invite them to investor briefings, and it will track the process through which each of these unique investors have a unique relationship with each of the offerings. When they request the PPM, when it's approved, denied, received, all of those are automatically time-stamped the second the person does that on the front end. So I started tracking that. That created this engagement at this time, 11:35 a.m. on the 15th. And now I've got a complete start to my transparency, to my auditing of every process and every communication. All of my email communication with that person will be stored. Any notes or documents I share with that person will all be saved and stored right here associated with this account, cross-associated with the investor, cross-associated with the business, so that when FINRA or anybody asks, we have a full transparency, full reporting capability. Let's say that the investor is tracking it and loves it, and now they want to download the PPM. There it is. They now have access to that PPM. What's great is that we can add a step in there. You could add an additional step and say, hey, before they get the PPM, we want them to request the PPM. And you could make that across your portal, or you could make that for a specific offering. You can create a step, another workflow step in that system. But for now, for the tracking of this engagement, we know that that person has downloaded and received the PPM, requested it, received it, and I can track exactly which version of the PPM that they've gotten, look there, they requested it, it was approved, time-stamped. I'm here, I downloaded it, so it was received, time-stamped here, and then there's a tracking number of that specific PPM. They downloaded this unique version of the PPM. Right? The next step is they're going to want to purchase it. Woohoo! I'd like to purchase this investment. And this portal, sample portal, and this issuer is requiring additional qualification and suitability information prior to committing. So I'm going to visit that page and kind of show you a little bit about what that's like, just basic information. And while I do that, Sarah or Matt, do you have another question?
Yes,
go ahead, Sarah.
Yeah, sure. So there are questions about the coding of our software and the technology. What is it set up on?
Yep.
I can answer if you'd like me to.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go ahead, so, Sarah, and then I'll ask that.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so the question is really asking what the technology is built on, and then it's kind of like a question more on how the relationship with Community Leader is ongoing. So really we used a host of technology to build this back end, and it is primarily made up of HTML5, Java, PHP, and MySQL. And then we also have an integration of our application built on a patented proprietary technology. And what we do is we provide the ongoing servicing of this back end. So it's really a licensing relationship. It's not open source technology that you can take and manage yourself. So I don't know if you have, yeah, you can add on to that, Joseph, if you have some more.
So exactly. So we're licensing a software and a service. So we have a annual license, an upfront configuration and service to configure it to match the way you want it, and then an ongoing license and an ongoing service fee. And the service fee is adjusted to reflect the level of service that you want. Then there's some built-in services that are also integrated, from digital signature to the bank box escrow to the identity verification, and those are passed on mostly on a per raise basis. So then we will configure and match that pricing to match your business model. So it's a license, it's a software and service license, or it's a software license and service agreement, and it's an annual renewal, and it's based on the service package that you want. So you'll see here now listed in my portfolio are the offerings I track. If I decide that I want to track the Family Resource Center as well, it will then show up as one of the businesses in my portfolio. The integrated portfolio is fantastic because I can have not just the investments I'm tracking, but I can also have the investments that I've invested in, and then the platform is used for the ongoing investor support after the raise. And this overview page becomes where the business can upload and share all of their ongoing news and information as well. So I just filled out that preference profile, which was one of the dependencies for being eligible to subscribe and commit to this offering. It's now providing me the opportunity to participate in the Silverstone's Tax Expert. I get to pick what I want the source of my funds to be. I could have a trust fund here, an IRA fund here, or multiple accounts. It always assumes one default trading account. The purchase, there's a minimum number of purchase units and $400 per unit. So the minimum investment here is $2,000. I like these guys. I'm going to be paying them this amount to do my taxes anyways. So I'm going to invest more in that. Final confirmation for legal that I've read and reviewed the PPM. I've had an opportunity to receive advice. I'm fully aware of the risks, and now I'm going to commit to this offering. They're going to ask me to, are you really sure that you want to do that? One more confirmation step and part of the process so that we can demonstrate everything. And then it said, oops, you know what? You haven't set up a bank account yet. You haven't set up a trading account. We don't know that you have the money to commit to this offering, so please set up and create your BankBox investor account. So built into our system for the legal movement of the money is a escrow service associated with a FDIC insured bank. Built into the system, each investor can set up a free account to move money into, and use that as a legal source of funds for their investments. We can track multiple accounts for different identities, whether there's a family identity, an individual, or a trust qualified accounts as well. So I don't really want to share all this information live on the internet to you guys to take from me, but let's pretend that this is my Social Security number. I'm currently not married, and I have priorities, and I understand that you're creating a quick little account for me. Boom, boom, boom. Once I have that account set up, but based on your business rules, you can require them to have the money in the account before they commit, or you can have them not put the money into the account until threshold of the escrow has been reached. I have no funds in this account yet, but I can easily fund it through ACH transfer. I'll be able to withdraw the money from ACH transfer as well. I'll have a complete list of all of my deposits, all of my withdrawals from this trading account, as well as a list of all of the investments that I've made from this account, which of course would correlate to the portfolio investments here. Once that request has been approved on the back end, it will trigger a thing here, and then the portal operator will be able to create an offering for this person. And while I do that, Sarah, would you like to ask that question that you have burning there?
Yeah, as long as you're talking about the accounts of the money transferred, somebody was wondering about setting up credit cards with the system. And do you want to go over that and why we do not accept that?
Yeah, so our platform is currently is designed to support the solicitation sale of a security, and most broker dealers, in fact all of them, won't accept the sale of a security on credit. So you can't use a credit card to purchase a security. The money needs to be able to be moved into escrow and be proven to be that real money. So our systems are set up to support that model of purchase, which is an ACH transfer or some other hard money purchase of the security. If in association with partnerships of other countries where there are different rules, it is of course easy to switch out and have a different model as well. Great. So this is the back end, the intermediary back end, where the engagement is approved, where the broker-dealer can approve it, or the intermediary can approve it, where the issuer can approve it, where then the documents are sent to be signed, that would be received as a task right here on the dashboard. You can see that the investor app is set up simple, clean, with plenty of room for you to customize the look and feel in the way that you want. You can see that the portal operator app is set up simple, clean, with a lot of ability to customize it, heavy emphasis on mobile functionality to be able to move and operate your raise on the fly. The ability to manage multiple different offerings, as well as all aspects of your contact information, how you want to be notified when payments been received, payments pending, new investors logged on. And then this back end is completely, the back end has a lot more comprehensive connections to really be able to run and operate all aspects of an individual campaign or all aspects of the business as a whole. So we've got about 10 more minutes. I want to leave a couple minutes at the end to say next steps, but Matthew, do you have another question? And I will continue to bounce around this platform to demonstrate in support of answering the different questions.
Let's see here. Would you be able, over the next 12 months, would you be able to raise for both accredited and non-accredited investors?
We will be, our platforms are guaranteed contractually to be functional to support the use of unaccredited investors in association with Title III the second those rules are published. So our team is tracking those rules very close. We were one of the largest feedback providers that helped create them. Our systems, we know what needs to happen where in order to support unaccredited, and our clients will be able to turn on and accept unaccredited investors the second those rules have become active.
I have a question about if we want to deploy across multiple domains, do we have to pay separate fees for each?
So absolutely not. Different looks and feels off of different domains are not different portals. What defines a portal and a unique different portal and what defines a sub-portal are based on the business requirements. So if in each of those different URLs you are looking for a different type of investment, a different investment product, targeting a different market with different business rules, then it will need to be a unique new portal. There's obviously significant cost savings for running and managing multiple portals. We'll have the portal operator app have integration across portals with a toggle switch back and forth between them. If it's common business rules, but different investment product types, which require different types of authentication and verification, then we can set up a sub-portal environment. So there can be a parent-child relationship between different portals. So,
Did we lose Joseph?
I think we did lose Joseph.
All right.
I'm back on, I hope. Can you hear me?
Oh, you are. Yep. We're going to just take a few more questions here and then probably wrap it up. But
Yep. I apologize, everybody. My it's only 2 o'clock or something here, but my phone just went dead. I apologize. So real quickly, the distinction between a parent and a child or sub-portals or a unique portal really is at a business operating level. Simply creating different branding interfaces and the ability for people who came in from different branding to have a different preference set and correspondingly be matched with different offerings can be done within a common portal license. Sarah, do you have another question there?
Well, there's a question about taking debit cards, which would just be your bank card, and that wouldn't be a problem. I don't know if there's anything else that you'd want to add to that. Has your platform incorporated the concept of venture capital model whereby investors would invest in a fund other than an individual project?
Absolutely. We have lots of our current clients that are doing raises for funds, which then turn around and invest in different projects. And we were very excited when the Title III rules were proposed that said that it would be okay to do derivative vehicles in with unaccredited investors as well. So we can most definitely build your portal to match those business requirements.
All right. Does Community Leader warrant protection for errors and omissions versus the SEC or FINRA? And I'm not sure.
So our licensed broker-dealer has E&O insurance for the deals for which they're the registering broker. And then for the portals that don't, we do have insurance partners that can write policies for them.
I believe that's the end of our questions here.
Okay.
So,
Matt, would you like to just real quickly tell people what the next steps are if they're interested in working with us and using one of our portals, and then I'll do a wrap.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thank you, Joseph. Yeah, so Sarah's going to put up my contact information and her contact information as well. Please do feel free to do give us a call right after the presentation or email us any additional questions that you guys may have. We'll go ahead and engage to a point where we get comfortable knowing what your business strategy and your unique requirements are for your portal platform. By gathering that information, we would go through what we call a portal development worksheet. After we've gone through that portal development worksheet, based on your priority of just needing pricing or a more formal document or more internal use, we'd be able to provide you a term sheet or a full proposal as needed. Once we've negotiated and signed either the proposal or term sheet, we would then schedule what we call a jump start. The purpose of the jump start is a meeting to build a common understanding of your business requirements or workflow and portal launch.
Okay, sorry.
Get some feedback. No, I was just saying the point of the jump start would be a meeting to build common understanding of your business requirements, workflow, and portal launch plan. This critical meeting brings our teams together to identify the roles and responsibilities. We find this meeting extremely critical in developing and finding more revenue streams, lowering costs, additional partnerships. So the first thing that we need to do is engage. Again, please do contact either myself or Sarah. Again, pick up the phone or do email us so we can schedule a time. We would love to hear about your unique opportunities in this new market, and look forward to talking to every and each one of you. And I wanted to thank Sarah and of course, Joseph going through our technology back end there. Joseph, you did a great job. And if you just wanted to kind of wrap it up, I'd definitely appreciate it.
You bet. So today's demo will be recorded or has been recorded and will be available online. You can contact Sarah directly to get that link. It'll also be on our YouTube account. We have lots of recordings of other systems there as well, and I look forward to hearing your feedback on those. We are a startup just like many of you and are working very hard to design a product and a service that matches our customers. It has gone through significant evolution over this last 6 months and will go through significant evolution over the next 6 months. That evolution will be directed by you, by what your needs are, how the market evolves, your unique business requirements, your vision of how you'd like to serve your community. We have lots of potential portals on our plate, lots of potential clients who have contacted us. And we're picking and choosing who we'll work with based on our understanding of the market and who we understand to be the leaders of their community. Community leader is more than a name, it's really a philosophy for us. We believe that the best companies to raise money are companies who take an active leadership role in their geographic, their industry, their market, their affinity community. And we believe that the most successful portals will be those whose leadership is recognized as a leader in their respective communities. So if you are excited, as we are, about the potential of crowdfunding and the new regulatory environment to really change what companies are able to come to market and who those entrepreneurs are and whose dreams are being fulfilled, and that's what you're excited to be part of, I really urge you to give us a call so that we can work together. Thank you so much, and we'll all be on live chat for the next hour or so to talk and share with you.
Fantastic. Thank you all.